Okay, I saw that you had just issued a statement on that, so I'm glad you were able to touch on that.
Yeah.
We can go back now to crime, which I'm sure
Yeah.
you're looking forward to talking about. And we do need to point out, you pointed it out, that you've been the police chief there for only 2 years, police commissioner. You were the chief in Portland before that, and you were a deputy chief in Oakland before that. Uh,
Right.
there's been a surge in violent crime across the country, but Philadelphia has been particularly hard hit. And last year, you had an all-time record high of 562 homicides. And this came after years where most of the country was seeing sort of a steady decline. So, what changed in terms of violent crime, either nationwide or in Philadelphia? I mean, why is the spike going that way now?
I think a lot of academic folks are still trying to figure it out, right? Here in Philadelphia, the violent crime has been steadily increasing since 2015, but no one's seen the type of spikes that we all have seen, in recent history that began in 2020. We're also seeing, I will tell you this, we got a record number of guns off the street last year, close to 6,000, and we're already trending in 2022 so far this year to even surpass that. So we know for a fact that accessibility to guns is clearly an issue. And I'm not talking about people that are purchasing guns illegally, they're storing them. If they're lost or stolen, they report them. I'm not talking about those individuals. I'm talking about people that are carrying guns illegally and then they're using said guns to commit crimes. We're seeing guns fall into the hands of younger people, juveniles, far more readily. Our shooters are becoming younger, and as such, our shooting victims are becoming younger. We're seeing individuals that have either, say, for example, if they are a suspect or an offender, depending on where you are in the country, some people may say perpetrator, but typically these individuals have either been victims of a shooting before or they have had gun cases. They've been arrested for a violation, what we call here in Philadelphia, a violation of the Uniform Firearm Act, which is carrying a firearm illegally. Um, so either they may have open cases or they've been arrested for this before. And with the court closures in 2020, our courts were closed for an entire year. There are a lot of people that, quite frankly, should have been in custody that were not, or they were pending court cases and they were waiting for some sort of for resolution to their case. So there's so many things that we think have impacted the violent crime that we saw here in the city. I think it's also worth noting that, we're the fourth largest police department in the country. We're a major city, but we're also probably the poorest major city in the country. So all of the issues that the city experienced prior to the pandemic around access to housing, access to education, access to wealth, all of the things that typically, if an individual had them, would be less inclined to commit a crime. All of these things are the systemic inequities that we knew existed prior to the pandemic were exacerbated during the pandemic. So there's so many different things that we think lent to this spike that we saw over the last 2 years. But now we have to go back to what we know works to get these numbers to decrease.